So here's an update from the inside of the bus, which is what I was working on when I crashed my bike and hurt myself. So everything kind of came to a grinding halt. And I've already lost a month, and it's going to be at least a couple of weeks before I can get back out here again, because I got one arm and the other one hurts like hell. But anyway, so I got the passenger side all pretty much buttoned up. Put a hardwood floor in. Looks pretty good. Built a toe kick. I used some automotive carpet with some backing on it, and I've got I've got one fan dedicated to this side. So I got one big ass heater fan dedicated just to those two vents. One blows down and one blows, directly out or up. And so my wife won't be complaining about cold toes anymore. I did the close in the side and put the one Freightliner seat in. I think it looks pretty good. Sort of fits there. And I also put I wanted the proper 3-point seatbelt, so bolted the Freightliner seatbelt in. And it's pretty easy to get in and out. Oh, I built the top of the fuse panel too. That's not quite done yet. I got some more work to do there yet. But anyway, yeah, it's really easy to get in and out. Don't have to slide the seat anymore. And it's very simple to climb over the doghouse if you want as well. It's no problem to walk up here. So the front is a lot more accessible now, which was one of my goals. Don't have to squeeze between the seats anymore. And so I built the top panel there, the top dash panel. And I tried to make it look like the old one, which it kind of does. Bent a big heavy sheet of aluminum, covered it with gray vinyl. That big black mesh in the middle, that's just sort of to break up the monotony. That was robbed from the old dash. A couple of new 6x9 speakers. And I put the altimeter back in up there just for fun. Got a backup camera screen there, big one. CB. This is a CB I had kicking around. This bus came with a very cool Motorola 40-channel CB with all the controls in the handset. I've got two of them now. Neither work. I need to send them away to someone who can fix them for me and get them running. And the idea is to put that one back in. The Motorola's, they mostly made big radios, but they did make a few CBs and then stopped making them, probably because there was no money in it. But so they're kind of a collector's item now, and I've got one for this thing. I'd like to get it going again. And so this is the dash panel. Not sure if I showed this yet, but here it is again, maybe. Got the, this is the, well, let me just turn the key on here. If I can do that with one arm. Yeah, there we go. So this is just a cheap touchscreen stereo. I could have hooked the backup camera to that as well, but I thought I'd have a dedicated one up top because I have lots of room for that. And this way I can have 2 or 3 cameras on this one, and if need be I could also put a backup camera on this lower one as well. So yeah, I put that in there. I put a couple of 110 plugs in the dash. That middle ugly thing, I've got to find a cap for that, but that's the connection for the Cummins computer, so you can connect it to a scanner or what have you, or a laptop. And I also added a couple of fast charge USB ports. They turn on, which is why one's on and one's not. And they show the voltage, which is handy. Looks like I'm sitting at 13.3, so that's good. And so the power for the stereo and the and those 110 volt plugs, I put an inverter and a big ass amplifier here in the upper compartment. So this is just a 1500 amp inverter. I happen to have it. It'd be nice to have a big one that would run the whole bus, but they're damn expensive. And I had this one. I've actually got one other 2000 amp. So maybe I'll throw that one in somewhere else to power 2 or 3 more plugs, which still beats trying to buy a very expensive amplifier or inverter to run the whole bus. So anyway, that inverter, all it does is it runs those 2 plugs there, and I'm going to put another plug back by the door there. It's nice to have something to plug your laptop into when you're sitting on the sofa. Oh, and that's the amplifier. And this amp has 2 different, not really 2 channels, but it's two amps in one. Amp 1 and amp 2 there. So each amp has 2 channels. So anyway, so the 1 amp is connected to these 6x9s, and I'm going to run 2 more speakers to it, probably these ones under here, and replace them with some, whatever they are, 4-inch, to get a separate stereo for the front of the bus. And then I'll run amp 2 to the rest of the bus, and I've got an RV stereo with 2 channels, so we can have 1 stereo inside and 1 stereo out on the under the awning for when we're out of the bus. Yeah, so that's what I've done. This panel used to be removable. Oh, forgot this little bit here. Underneath that is the controls for the new spotlight up on the roof, which I haven't installed yet, but I installed the controls. I'm just trying to undo this with one hand. So this folds down now. So that's what's in the back now. Very accessible. And pretty easy to get to the bus bar back there. I've still got some wiring and whatnot to do here. Yeah, anyway, so I was working on that. And the next step was to finish this. Put the other seat in, put the seat belt in, bolt the dash in. But I hurt myself, so I'm going to have to wait. Which means our 1st of September trip is out. Blew that out of the water. But anyway, at some point we'll get her done and we'll get this thing on the road, and that'll be fun.